So I want to make a video today about, part of my training. Um, and essentially it's mostly about alignment. One thing I noticed, I think most people have enough strength to do whatever they need to do, like this weightlifting, bodybuilding, all that stuff. It doesn't make sense to me because I think I've been given more than enough strength to do everything I need. However, what I need is for my body to be at 100%, so I can use all the strength that God gave me. And so the argument I'm posing is I need my body to be in alignment, right? That's I don't need like crazy big muscles, this, that, or the other. I think it's a farce. What I need is my body to be straight so I can get 100% of what I've been given and to use that as best as I can, right? Anyway, in this blog, I've been writing about some of my old injuries, and I was going to chiropractor and stuff. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. And, essentially the therapy that I use is one that does what I just said. It makes my body straight. It makes my body straight and powerful. So a long time ago, I had these ridiculous speed pedals, which messed up my right hip like over 20 years ago. And so what I started doing eventually, I'm not sure exactly when, but I went to a chiropractor. It didn't work out, no big deal. In that a chiropractor is like a drug. You go there and you get hooked to the adjustment, and eventually, that's it. You just get hooked. And so I had to break that little hook. I had to break the cycle of dependency onto that need for the adjustment. And I went through withdrawal for at least 2 or 3 months. I mean, I was in pain, I was in agony, but I just knew that this was something that had to be done. And then eventually my body kind of began to recover, kind of, right? It wasn't really okay, but it was starting to recover. And so what I started to do is I started doing adjustments on myself naturally. I started doing pull-ups. And I started doing lots of pull-ups. I mean, what's lots of pull-ups? Well, 100 a day is kind of what I'm doing right now because I injured my shoulder. So for the past like 8, 9 months, I've been doing 100 a day, and that's really little. I don't really think I've done less than 150 a day on average for decades. Um, I've cycled it up. 200 was really easy. And I remember when I was teaching at Furman, I was like knocking out 300 with my legs parallel to the ground. I was doing figure eights, all kinds of really cool stuff. I was doing bikes on my legs. It was really, really cool. So, I learned to do acrobatic stuff while I was doing pull-ups, but generally, 300 was not uncommon for me at two different stages of my life. I was doing 300 consistently when I was young, when I was teaching at Furman, and then I was doing 300, or so, or I think it was around the time of, Hawaii, when after I got back from Hawaii. I was, so it was like, close to 20 years apart, roughly, not 15. So, and at one point I was doing 400 a day, but just very sporadically. I did it like, I think 3 or 4 times in a week, and that was kind of cool. So let me talk about how to do pull-ups. If you can't do pull-ups, don't worry. You just sit there and you just hang, and your body will go into alignment. It'll lengthen your spine. It'll make you taller. I grew about an inch, when I started doing pull-ups. And it's funny, I injured my shoulder like about a year and a half ago, a little bit more than a year and a half ago. And I didn't do pull-ups for a full year. And I shrunk 2 inches. I think what happened is the inch that I got for free, from doing pull-ups disappeared because I stopped doing pull-ups. And then because I'm 50, I think you just compress. It was funny. I went from 6 foot tall to 5'10". It's like, wow, that was kind of wild. But I think I'm probably 5'11" now, and possibly on the way to 6 foot. I really don't care. It's just interesting. It's interesting because 2 inches is a lot for a human being to 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 compress. That's like 2 inches right there. It's a lot of height, and that's in my spine. That's what happened. Anyway, so if you just sit there and you just hang, you'll lengthen your spine, just like chiropractic treatment, and it'll put stress on it, which is important because with the stress, you're building muscle, right? And in order to get it, what happens if you're all tied up and you really can't, get it to crack, and you twist your hips in, left hip, like while you're hanging, you twist your hips out, pop, 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 pop. The whole thing just pops. It's really kind of cool. And so I think that's been an integral part of my workout routine. I bike a lot, but I do a lot of pull-ups. So generally, I have my shoulders are generally okay. My legs are definitely kind of okay. Just kind of funny with the legs. My legs are ridiculous. I can bike all day, no problem. But if I go walking for a little while, it's like I'm exhausted. My legs are done, toast. Forget the walking, right? I can bike for hours, but I can't walk. Very strange. Very strange. Yeah, I started walking the beach recently, and my legs have been very sore. And I don't get it because it's not that long or intense of a walk. And I bike for hours every day. They don't get sore. Kind of weird. Yeah, so try to do some pull-ups. It lengthens your body. It'll stretch you out, minimize the risk for injury because the way you get injured is compression forces. So you want to counter the compression forces by lengthening, right? So thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it.